April 5th, Tony Khan made a huge announcement. This wasn't the one like the ones before. And while memes, jokes, and the like were made, this time it was huge. On Sunday, August the 27th, AEW will host All In London at Wembley Stadium, the first show of its kind in over 30 years. Today, I am joined by Tom Clark of Tom Clark's Main Event, a fantasy book the card for what could be the biggest attended wrestling show on UK soil. Tom, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I am very good. I've been excited to record this one for since we spoke about it about 6 weeks ago.
Same. It's been a while.
It has. So are you excited for the show itself?
I am. And I'm happy for that company. I don't know if that point's been made enough online or not, but I mean, despite what anyone thinks about the company or Tony Khan himself or whatever, there's a lot of good people there, a lot of talented people behind the scenes and on TV who are earning a living, right? And
Yeah.
this will be the biggest night in that company's history. I'm happy for the whole crew. I think it's very cool, man.
Yeah. Have you decided whether you're going to venture over yet, or are you still a bit unsure?
I don't know. That's a tough one. Like today, I was gonna have the background, you know what I mean? But I was like, nah, I'll just blur it and go with that. I can't wait to see the show, man. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm so looking forward to it. I'm almost looking past Forbidden Door, if I'm being real.
I've literally got tunnel vision on that show at the moment. Like, I'm excited for Double or Nothing and Forbidden Door, but all I can think about is All In.
Yeah, same here.
It should be a great show. How did you find booking your own card then for this?
It was so easy. Oh my God. No, I'm kidding. It was a nightmare. I have booked my share of wrestling shows in the past. And it's always you're walking the tightrope, right? Because but on the independent scene, it's a little bit easier because you just book the talents that you want. So, or that you try to get talents to fill up your card, and then you figure out, I'm going to put this guy against this guy, this girl against this girl, whatever. So it still can be, again, walking the tightrope, juggling the balls, that kind of thing, putting the right person with the right opponent. However, I've never been in a situation, well, not in a long time actually, where I've had like say 20 people on a roster, and then you got everybody wants to be on the show, so you got to find a way to make that work. So this was very challenging, but it was fun too. So
yeah. So I'll run through the rules for anyone who hasn't seen this before, and then we'll get right into your show.
Cool.
So 10 to 13 matches, including the pre-show if you want one. A maximum of 7 talent through the Forbidden Door, i.e. non-AW talent. Otherwise, all AW and ROH talent. Tag teams count as 2 picks, 1 per team member. A maximum of 3 gimmick matches, so tables matches, last man standing, etc. Battle Royal does not count as a gimmick match. A Battle Royal can include 2 additional Forbidden Door and 2 additional indie talents if you'd like, and predict a surprise debut / Tony Khan huge announcement if you want. So with that being said, do you have a pre-show?
Okay, so this is the part where I didn't so much as break the rules as I kind of bent them to the point of breaking them in half. I have 13 on the main card, counting the Battle Royal.
Okay.
And I have 3 that I had to take off. But all right, so yeah, I don't know what we're going to do with that, but I have 3 that I had to take off, but I feel as though they should be here. So I'm total of 16, so I just flat out broke the rules.
That's all good. There's, to be fair, going to be like a tailgate thing that AEW are running, so they might have matches on that. Who knows?
There you go. Yeah, I did have that in my mind too, that this is probably going to be a big pre-show. Just I kind of felt like Gato booking this thing because you know what I mean? Like I'm making 6-man and 8-man and 10-man, get everybody a payday. But my pre-show and these 3 matches were actually on the card before I started splitting things up. I've got Pac versus Roosh.
Nice.
I feel like that would be so much fun. And how do you not book Pac in England? Come on, man. So that's one. I've got a ladder match with Private Party, the Guns, the Acclaimed, Best Friends, and a possible surprise team in the Von Erichs.
Oh, nice. They're free agents as of today at time recording, aren't they?
There you go. So the thought is whoever wins this gets a shot at the tag team titles. And then just as a throwaway match, but still entertaining, the JAS, and it'll be Daniel Garcia, Angelo Parker, and Matt Menard versus the United Empire of Aussie Open and Jeff Cobb.
Oh, nice.
So there you go. That's my
Daniel
three I took
Garcia,
off.
so much danger there.
Oh my God, yeah. Garcia versus Cobb, I think would be fun to watch, honestly.
Yeah. Garcia versus either of Aussie Open as well.
Oh yeah, dude, those guys. If you caught all their work on their latest Japan tour, it was outstanding, outstanding. So
Kyle Fletcher's just been doing some singles matches in AEW as well, hasn't he? And
he has.
Like the fact that he's only 24 is obscene.
Yeah. Oh my God.
He wrestles like he's been doing it for like 15, 16 years.
His wrestling IQ is monstrous, and he's got 20 years to go. I mean, what? Frightening.
Yeah, he's so good.
He is.
So with the pre-show out the way, what's opening the main show?
All right. Well, if we're going in order, I might have a problem here because I didn't necessarily go in order, but I can kind of figure it out.
Oh, that's what I'm just go with the flow and what you want to do.
Every match is big. Let's put it that way. This could have been, you got to open the show big. In my opinion, you got to open this show big. So honestly, you know what? Why don't we just open the show with the AEW Women's World Title match?
Okay.
And I was back and forth on this. Should it be a one-on-one? Should it be a triple threat? So I threw all 6 women in because everybody's playing really nice. The Outcast versus the other 3 ladies. But that title is floating around between the 6 of them. And I think it would be cool at some point if someone pointed that out to them. So I would have Saraya versus Britt Baker versus Toni Storm versus Ruby Soho versus Hikaru Shida versus Jamie Hayter for the AEW World Women's Championship. And I think you could create a storyline around that and say, these 3 women are friends, these 3 women are friends, but will they be friends after this match?
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
The thing with Britt and Jamie, which is so great at the moment, is like they've teased Ascension so much. Yeah. And they're like, no, we're just friends fight. But then literally the same side of it is Jamie's getting closer to Britt's, like to matching Britt's record with the title. How long is it until Britt kind of goes, oh, now you kind of like overshadowing me.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be like friend stabbing friend in the back. It can be like a friendly rivalry. But it does create a hell of a lot of intrigue. Add to the fact that Shida's the longest reigning women's champion as well.
Very true.
And you've got kind of like the whole the 2 longest reigns, and Jamie's like about to surpass them both. That can sew that into that.
And let's be honest, this match would steal the show on the first shot out the gate.
Yeah, I think Jamie Hayter is going to get one of the largest pops of the night.
Oh, absolutely. And what's cool about that is you can put her in this match and have Americans in it because Saraya is on the other side. So it doesn't necessarily mean, well, Saraya's going to get cheered because no, not here, because there's another girl on the other side who's also from here. So I think that evens it up.
Yeah. And you can even have Saraya like just talking about, oh yeah, I'm glad I left England. Sort of thing.
Yeah, of course.
Like heal it up that way.
Of course.
I think no one gets a bigger pop than Jamie in that match anyway.
Absolutely. She's come such a long way too, honestly.
Yeah, she's awesome.
My second match, and it's hard to not book this card without thinking about what's happening right now. It's really hard for me, right? And a lot of what's happening right now could be done in 4 weeks. We don't know. But I've got Darby Allin versus Sammy versus Jungle Boy. And I know that they're running this to death and with the 4 pillars and everything. But, they're friends 1 minute, they're not friends the next minute. May the best man win, all that nonsense. But at the end of the day, when MJF is dealing with his next contender, these 3 guys are going to be left to figure out what went wrong, how come I didn't win, well, how come I didn't win, that kind of thing. So I think this would be a great triple threat. And again, tearing the house down. These 3 guys would deliver 100%.
Yeah, all really exciting young talents. I think as well, like with you saying, like coming out of the MJF feud, all having nothing to do with. Well, you could even point to like them blaming each other for why MJF retained and managed to like get out scot-free, stuff like that. Like there's so many ways you can kind of like spin that coin to like get to where you need to go with that. Yeah, big fan of that.
I like how I've booked the card, and so far you're explaining how you can make it work. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. That's gonna make it easy.
When I've been doing like my own one, I was trying to like justify why I do certain matches, and when I recorded mine, it was literally like the first one I did, so
Ah.
it's very out of date. Um,
Oh, I
but
bet.
because there's stuff that, as you say, stuff having your mind on like what's going on now, but also what could change, and a lot of stuff's changed on mine already.
That's fair.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good way to kind of like sort of like, okay, well that's how you do that. That's how you do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good point. Like if you wait too long, things will be outdated. That's how fast this company moves, which is cool, I think. So yeah, for sure. Versus other companies that have a feud and run it for 8 straight weeks, and it's on TV every week, and you're like, I don't know if I care about this feud anymore. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I think that's kind of like one of the benefits of them doing like sort of laying the groundwork and then not really touching things for a while and then coming back to it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. You can still have them cut promos, but hands off. We've got too much hands on for these feuds, man. Enough's enough. Have them touch, have a pull apart, and then get them away from each other and make the crowd want to see it instead of giving it away for free all the time. I'll throw another title match at you because I think I got all the belts on the line, I believe. AEW TNT title match, Luchasaurus challenging Wardlow. And again, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
You know, and honestly, I think this would be so much better than what people anticipate it will be. Because both these guys, Luchasaurus is dynamic, if he's anything. And Wardlow had a nice little career before he ever got picked up. So I think they'd kill it, honestly.
I think as well, Wardlow works so much better with like guys similar size or his own size than he does when he's like kind of the big man who's trying to look like he's in peril against someone who's a lot smaller than him. And obviously he doesn't do that a lot, but there have been opportunities they've had where they like could have gone, oh yeah, we'll like have Wardlow just steamroll all these guys, and they've had them like having competitive matches like. But then,
yeah, and it reminds me of like back in the day, I was working with this promotion, and he was like our top guy for a lot of different reasons, one of our top guys, but he was 6'4", 320 pounds. He was a big boy, and he worked under a mask, and he would go out there and he's taking hip tosses, arm drags, drop kicks, and we'd tell him afterwards, say, Rob, you're kind of our big, you're our big guy, and he's like, man, I want to wrestle. I don't want to stand around and have guys bump for me. I want to wrestle. And so from an aesthetic, you're like, this kid's 180 pounds. You shouldn't be bumping for him. But Rob's point of view was, I just want to wrestle. I love doing this. I don't want to be the stereotypical, you can't move me, I'm a brick wall nonsense. Luchasaurus and Wardlow remind me of that, honestly.
Yeah. I think as well, like with when you've got like guys the same size as each other or similar sizes, they can work that style because there's not the whole, well, that guy's like 180 pounds and that guy's 300 pounds. Why is he able to do a hip toss on that guy? Like it's believable that like Powerhouse Hobbs, for example, would be able to like throw Wardlow around like a sack of potatoes.
Right.
Same with Luchasaurus. Yeah.
Same.
That's a great choice.
I think it would be great. This I threw on the card because everybody in this match has been, whether you like all of them or not, it doesn't really matter. They've been delivering every week on TV. Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, which I know the Jeff Jarrett thing is whatever, right? But Lethal, Jarrett, and Satnam Singh versus Hook, Konosuke Takeshita, and Samoa Joe. Because it's a throwaway 6-man tag, but I don't care. I think it would be fun. I think Joe tagging with Hook would be fun to see.
Yeah, you could even tease like Joe and Hook further down the line as well.
Oh yeah,
because they are like similar sort of styles. Only Joe's like twice the size of Hook.
Yeah. I think it would be good. And honestly, it's again, Lethal and Jarrett are delivering every week. They don't mind being the butt of the joke. They don't mind being entertaining and funny heels. Like I was reminded of that Arn Anderson quote years ago when he's ripping on Jim Cornette on TV, and he's like, you know, you like to be a clown, you like to be funny on TV, and all this other stuff, and really, and I'm like, man, this is so good because he completely boiled down that character in one promo. So that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, yeah.
So there you go.
I've been saying this, like, I'd just be really excited to see Jarrett. Like, he's like my guilty pleasure, Jeff Jarrett.
Really?
Just because it's like from like TNA and stuff like that. Like when I was growing up, and obviously like before that Attitude Era, and he's just one of those guys like you love to hate.
Mm.
And no matter what, whenever I see him, especially if I hear My World, it's like I'll pop and then I'll be like, right, I'm gonna boo now because I know he'll want me to play along with it.
Right.
But yeah, huge Jarrett fan. I know he's a very divisive figure, but yeah, I love him. I think
what do you think
great.
about Karen being there now?
Oh boy, it's getting back into like tier. I'm waiting for Jarrett to bust out his MMA shorts now. Now that's happened.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. And I don't know who it was in the crowd that really, really liked Karen Jarrett, but someone whistled like 9 times. And I'm like, someone in that crowd really is impressed by Karen Jarrett. Like, okay, you know what I mean? So
I'd love it if it was just Max Caster fucking with them because of the tweet.
That's good. I really like that.
Yeah.
This one, again, this is well, you know what? I'll skip that because that's another 6-man. I told you I got everybody on this card. This is a gimmick match. And I'm under the rules except for the match count, by the way, so we're all good. This is an I Quit match. Chris Jericho versus Adam Cole.
Oh, now, yeah, I'm here for that.
Because I think you could milk this. You could run this match 3 times, and I don't think it'll get old at all. I mean, if they run this, yeah, and the spacing, the timing would be fine. I think it would be great here as well.
Yeah, I think with Jericho and Cole, it's interesting because it's like it's the kind of story that they could literally do like a one and done and it would be fine. Or they, as you say, they could run like 2 or 3 matches and it would also be great. Yeah, I think Adam Cole in matches like this as well just thrives, doesn't he? Like he's really good at sort of any kind of match where there's like weapons and silly high spots that you know he's going to do something insane. It's just like where he really thrives. And I said this on every single one, that Adam Cole baby is going to be one of the loudest things I'll ever hear.
Oh man, I'm so jealous of you going to this show.
There's still like 25,000 tickets available.
Oh wow, they're north of 70. Yes,
they're 65 was the last I saw.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so they can have, depending on how it's laid out, they can have anything between, I think it was 73 and 96.
Good for them.
So,
I mean, and dude, we're not even in June yet. That's the nuts part of this.
The thing is as well is that there's so many like fringe shows where there's going to be like talent who's getting like flown over, who are then probably going to go, oh yeah, I'll just get a ticket on the door. I genuinely think it's going to probably, I don't know if it'll sell out, but I think it's going to come pretty damn close.
I agree. I think it'll come very close. So yeah, I would very much want to see this. I can't wait to see it now. And no matter what people want to throw at Chris has got stuff too, right? Yeah. But this thing about he doesn't make anybody, I vehemently disagree with that. I don't agree with that in the slightest. I think this idea of you make someone by the last match, you have to have your arm raised and your opponent has to be defeated and disgraced and destroyed and embarrassed. I'm like, Chris Jericho is a veteran and multiple world champion. He's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer. That guy shouldn't be putting people over like that, in my estimation. I don't think that's the right thing to do. If he lost every single feud to put the young guy over, then at that point, I should be pinning Jeff Jarrett or Chris Jericho. It wouldn't make any difference anymore. Like it's got to mean something that he doesn't lose every feud. But like Adam Cole is a veteran. Adam Cole's got time under his belt. Adam Cole's winning this feud. I don't see any other way around it. So
I think Adam Cole, since he's come back, they've been building him for MJF. I think. I don't know if he's the guy to necessarily take the belt off MJF, but I think he's definitely getting built for either All In, All Out, or Full Gear for MJF.
Nice. I like that.
Because he felt like a huge deal as soon as he come back, and he came so close against Hangman. Obviously, Hangman's reign was in its infancy when he was like feuding with him, so there was no chance he was going to win. But yeah, I think this feud's kind of like what cements Adam Cole as like a credible threat to MJF's title.
Yeah, I agree. We've got and I haven't talked to you about my battle royal. I do have a battle royal. I got 30 guys in it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I'll run it down real quick. I got all 4 of the Dark Order. I've got the Kingdom, AR Fox, El Hijo del Vikingo, Action Andretti, the Embassy, which I can't say without going the Embassy. I can't help myself. The Butcher, the Blade, Darius Martin, Ethan Page, Keith Lee, Swerve Strickland, Dustin Rhodes, Lance Archer, Mark Briscoe, Nick Camarado, Parker Boudreaux, Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Stark, Sean Spears, Lee Moriarty, Roderick Strong, Ketu Marshall, and Harry Smith. Because I think the temptation to book Harry is going to be too strong in Wembley. I mean, they can talk about Bulldog versus Hitman. And honestly, if they were to sign him, Harry goes over. I just think the temptation's too strong to ignore.
He's going to be there. He's wrestling for Progress the day before, so he's already announced for a show in London, so he's definitely going to be there.
There you go.
So yeah, that would make a ton of sense.
I mean, and there again, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I just think if they're leaving it up to me, I'm thinking, well, I don't know how we don't do this. You know what I mean? I just think it makes the most sense. So I had to throw that in real quick. So I've got the AEW World Tag Team Championships on the line because I think this is the match. Because I kept thinking about FTR and like, who is it what they haven't done yet? You know what I mean? The younger tag teams, yes. The dream matches, yes. I got to do FTR versus the Hardy Boys, man. I have to.
That's fair. Again, like the Hardys are a team that you hear that music, the pop's huge. Not say FTR aren't either, but yeah, I agree. I think that'll be a fantastic match. I think the Hardys being in the kind of like final run as well, that'd be like a great because I don't see them like I don't necessarily see them changing many, if any, belts at the show, but I think that would be the one that would garner the biggest pop if you got like the Hardys winning the final tag team championship in Wembley, where they've got like the largest crowd they've ever had, and guys like Matt and Jeff as well. They're always going to get a huge pop regardless, aren't they?
They won every set. I mean, didn't they? They even won the pseudo WCW set.
They did.
I mean, dude, that's an ECW. It's every company. The ECW.
They didn't do ECW. They haven't done NWA. They've done WWE, WCW, Impact / TNA.
Right. GCW.
They haven't done GCW. Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor. That's right. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did GCW, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah. Like because
everyone's going to dip the toe in that tag division because it's so good.
And, you know, they're still both, you look at them and you're like, these guys been wrestling for 30 years? What?
Yeah.
Like they don't look it at all. I mean, not to get in all the Jeff stuff or whatever, but you know, they don't look it at all to me. So yeah. I think FTR and Hardy Boys would be a banger if I can use that one.
You can. It is the English dialect.
Thank you. I feel like I've been adopted at this point. So there you go.
Yeah. I'm going to spend most of this podcast trying to twist your arm to come over for All In, by the way.
I would love to come over for All In.
My
wife looks around and says, "Where's Tom at?" "Oh, he's in England." Nah, I don't know if that would go over too well.
Just bring it with you. Bring the family.
I know, right? Yeah.
Family holiday. There you go.
Yeah.
Fanny's in London.
It's a thought. I would love to see him, man, for sure.
Yeah.
So I've got another title match for you. And this one has no reason to happen. There's no heat here. except latent heat. I can't get my lighting right to save my life. Peek behind the curtain, kids. There we go. I feel like that's too bright. There's no reason for this to happen other than I really think it would be fun and it would be cool to see. But I've got the House of Black defending the AEW World Trios Championship against the Lucha Brothers and Sting.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I'm just imagining all that face paint and how much fun that would be.
And the thing is, with Sting on like pay-per-views, they'll just throw him in a match where it's not necessarily no DQ, but it's just like, oh yeah, we're gonna just do like a load of silly shit and just like fight through the crowd for like 10, 15 minutes and then come back. Yeah, I'd love that. That'd house rules now. They've introduced that. Like they could just announce it on the night, couldn't they? House rules, and then that'd be awesome in itself. Although they'd have to do it like when the sun's gone down so they can get the lighting right.
Oh, that's true. That's true. And I'm just remembering like Sting tagging with the Road Warriors back in the day, and the brothers in paint. It was him and excuse me, I'm choked up. Him and the Great Muta, him and Vampiro, and I just think the aesthetic of it would be so much fun to watch, dude.
Yeah.
It was
there is that history between like the Lucha Bros and Sting with the House of Black as well. Just obviously in different sort of like groups.
It was so good it choked me up. and plus the House of Black versus the Lucha Brothers can happen in any company on any night and be a main event. Yeah. And I think there's enough time passed that where it would, you know what I mean? Because when they were feuding, I'm like, I just want to watch this every night. I don't care about anything else. This is too much fun. But like, I think there's been enough time they could pull this off and it'd be awesome. So
yeah, House of Black are my favorite trio, I think, anywhere at the moment.
They're so good.
So entertaining.
They are so good. So I've got another women's match for you. This is the TBS championship match. And I've got Jade Cargill defending the title and losing the title to Mercedes Moné.
Oh, that would be huge. Would Mercedes pre-announced or just surprise debut?
Well, here's the fun part. You don't need to really sell tickets. So I took that into account when I booked this was, do I go after the big names because they got to sell tickets? Not now. So no, you could actually leave it. It's an open challenge. It's her open challenge, whatever. And then Mercedes comes out and Mercedes gets the win. Yeah. And I don't care what anybody says, James, about this thing about, she can't, she's booked strong, whatever. At the end of the day, Mercedes rolls her up. You don't have to kill Jade to beat her. You don't have to humiliate her. It's not required. Just roll up. And and you can tell that she wasn't ready, mentally prepared, whatever. She could blame jet lag. She could blame anything. She's a heel. So, I think the match would be fun, dude, honestly.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I really, really want Mercedes to be at the show as well. Like, that would be so cool.
Yeah. See, and don't forget, dude, I'm making your life a lot more enjoyable with these cool matches I'm giving you. See?
That's true.
They should have me doing this stuff. This one I had to throw in because I feel like now some of this is New Japan, whether or not that's going to be allowed to happen, whether or not the title would be on the line. I don't know. And it's going to be hard to get Kenny Omega away from the Elite because that feud with the BCC is great. But Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay for the IWGP United States Championship.
I genuinely think this is the most likely match to happen.
Yeah.
I just to pull the curtain back, I recorded one last night of these, and that match was on the card as well. And Ospreay and Omega has been the most common like match that people have been booking on the cards that I've had so far. So it's a no-brainer, isn't it? Based on the Wrestle Kingdom match alone, that was such a fun match. Obviously, Kenny went into like his old stomping grounds, Ospreay's backyard, and just like had a very one-sided match with him. The way Ospreay can kind of redeem himself and get his win back with that is by saying, "Come to Wembley." Come
For
to
sure.
my home country.
For sure. Yeah. And yeah, like you said, it's very predictable match, but at the same time, because it's so predictable, that's why it should happen.
I
Let's
can
just do it.
I can see this being the third in the trilogy as well, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if they threw it in a Forbidden Door. Obviously that's in Canada. So again, adds to the I beat you in like your stomping grounds, you beat me in my stomping grounds. Now I'm gonna beat you in your home country. And
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
it's
fun. And I
always gonna
just
be good.
there's just no reason to put a Japanese championship on an American wrestler who's not traveling to Japan. I I, I mean, I know NJPW Strong is a thing, but Kenny Omega's not showing up on NJPW Strong. So I don't know. Let them do what they want, but it just makes more sense to get that belt back on Osprey, or at least a Japanese wrestler, in my opinion. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, this one is, I'm going to say that one. I'll say that one because that's one of those. What? I like to have those matches. AEW International Championship match. Orange Cassidy defends against Jay White.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
I think Jay should beat him in Wembley.
Oh, okay.
That's how I feel. Orange is having a great run.
Yeah.
And we all predicted that TNT title was going to be the workhorse title, like the Intercontinental title is for the other company. That's not looking to be the case. It's the international title, is the workhorse title.
Yeah. The international titles, like for me, it feels bigger than the world title at the moment because
It does.
it's so seen. Whereas the world title, obviously, with it being around MJF's waist, he doesn't wrestle that often.
Right.
It's obviously it's part of the character. So when he does defend it, it does feel bigger.
Yeah.
But seeing how much prestige they put behind that international championship, and it's not even been around for a year. Like it's only been a championship for 11 months, and it feels huge.
It's true.
Yeah, I'd like to see Jay win it. To be honest, I was talking about this to someone the other day. So when Pac won it, he was taking it around like UK Indies, defending it on there. I'd like to see someone do something like that again with it. I think it's become too big to do that with now. But I would very much like to see like people just showing up like if it's an American wrestler showing up at like GCW, like the Briscoes were with the ROH titles when ROH was on its hiatus, and defending those belts on that show. Just make it like an actual like traveling world championship.
I love that. I love that. And that would, for all those people that claim that Orange couldn't be world champion, I don't know how many people are thinking that now.
Me and Benef have this discussion every week where it's like Orange will have a match and we'll go, so Orange is going to be wrestler of the year, right? Like we've had that conversation pretty much regularly since the end of March.
Makes sense.
Because he's been having like ridiculous matches every week. He's just so good, isn't he?
He is.
Anyone who can't see that, I don't know what to say. Maybe wrestling's not your thing.
That's a good answer. Yeah.
But yeah, he's just tremendous. He's such a good wrestler. And the only person for me at the moment who's coming close to him is Speedball Mike Bailey, which we were talking about before.
Yeah.
He's just killing at the moment.
He is. His current tour in Japan is something to behold. But like, and look, I'm on the record before when AEW became a thing, and the first time I saw Orange work, and I was like, "You're going to put this on your TV show?" Hey, I'm on the record. I said I don't back down. I don't. You know what I mean? Like, but I think the difference between what you and I do, and a lot of guys that we know and girls know that do, is that we are able to evolve our opinions over time. We're able to say, I was wrong. I was totally wrong about Orange. He won me over a long time ago. So yeah, I'm in the bag. I mean, and again, Jay, for anybody that looks at that and poo-poos it or whatever, but you're okay with the 7-foot dude pretend to be an undead mortician. That was okay. He's conjuring lightning from the sky. And you're really? But you got a problem with the guy wearing a denim jacket with his hands in his pockets? That's bad for you? I don't know.
And the thing is as well, to do half the stuff he does, like without his hands in his pockets is impressive.
True.
And to do that without hands because they're in his pockets, that's insane.
Insane. It's
He's
true.
such good. So good. I love Orange.
I got 2 left and we're done.
Ooh.
We're gonna take it home. That's it. I got 2 left. This one because Kenny is busy. And we got the BCC left and the Elite. So I've got the BCC, all 4 of them, versus the Elite. And in Kenny Omega's spot is Bill by God Goldberg.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not a singles. He doesn't have to go 20 minutes. In a match with this many guys, people can feed for him. He can sell when he needs to. He'll be protected. The fans will go nuts because it's him. They could even sell it as though we're a man down because Kenny's not with us. We don't care. We got this. And then the match kicks into gear. Goldberg's music hits and everything stops. And you're like, what? And he's tagging with the Elite. It could be a one-off. He doesn't have to sign with the company. It could be fans, you won't believe what you missed in England last night. Look what happened. You know what I mean?
He could literally just come out, spear Utah and leave and get a huge pop.
Utah's taking the pin here. There's no doubt.
Utah's there to get a spear.
And, and again, people will poo-poo the idea of that. But, you go back and listen to the Bucks on, I forget what podcast it was. Might have been Jericho's podcast or the AEW podcast, where they spent 10 minutes putting Bill over and talked about what a great guy he is, what a good person he is, how they love the guy. And you hear that from so many people. I mean, you got a segment of fans that crap on him because 3 moves, whatever. But then you hear what everybody else says behind the scenes about how he's just a class act. And it's like, I think there's enough goodwill here that he could come in for a one-off and be done and maybe cut a promo and that'd be the end of it.
I feel like the fact that AEW's new show is marketed to look exactly like Nitro isn't a coincidence as well.
That's fair. That's fair. And that's not even the main event there, Jay. There's only 2 dudes left. I only got 2 guys left. The AEW World Championship match. MJF defends against CM Punk.
Oh.
And I know it is what it is, but there's so much backstory to draw from. We don't yet know how Punk's going to be received. We have no idea.
He'll get a monster pop in Wembley.
There you go.
He hasn't wrestled in the UK for almost 8 years, maybe 9. So yeah, he's gonna get a big pop. Love him or hate him. It's one of them. You hear his entrance music for a split second. You go, oh my God. And then either stop booing him or start cheering.
That's true. And I don't even know that Punk has to win. I don't know. To me, I didn't look at any of this card about winning and losing. I just looked at it to say what would be fun to see.
Yeah. I think because obviously All Out's the week later and it's in Chicago. Because of course it's in Chicago. It's always in Chicago. You could even go as far as having like MJF get himself DQ'd and then the rematch in Chicago, or Punk wins and then MJF says, I want my rematch in Chicago. I've already beat Chicago. There's a lot of ways you can go around that, for sure.
Sure.
Yeah, I think as far as marquee matches go, there aren't many that are bigger than that one for AEW to do.
I mean, if can you imagine if this card were to happen? You've got Chris Jericho, Sting, CM Punk, the Hardy Boys. I mean, Samoa Joe on the same card. Like, what? Nuts.
I think they're all gonna be there in some form. Maybe not Punk, given what's going on at the moment, but we'll see. By the time this comes out, he might have like changed his mind to be all right with everyone again. Yeah, we just don't know. I think by the time this releases, it's the week before Collision, so we'll have a better idea. So this could have aged terribly in like Punk's completely gone.
Yeah, you never know. Or yeah, anything can happen. Yeah, but that's my card, and I'm exhausted. So
That was a pretty awesome card, to be fair. I would definitely pay money to see that one.
it's a multi-million-dollar payroll right here, buddy.
Yeah. Well, it's a good job they've got all that collision money now.
I know, right?
Oh man, tell me about it. So yeah, thank you very much, Tom, for joining us on this.
Of course.
Before we do wrap it up, where can people find you and your podcasts, which I have featured on both of?
You have, and you're getting ready to do another one too. It's going to be fun. So Tom Cart's Main Event is the one that's been running since 2014. It's my first, and we're over 300 episodes now. I think 309 will be the next episode. Pretty proud of that. Jay's been on a few times, and it's a fun show. If you like wrestling, if you like this silly stuff we're talking about, you might enjoy it. Most of the time, we air it live on Fridays at around 4 p.m. on the Facebook. So just look up Tom Clark's Main Event. Can't miss it. My second show is Tom Clark's 6M Podcast. That's movies, music, Marvel, magazines, miniseries, and more. It's basically just me and a co-host or three, whatever that number is. And we just pick something that fits under the 6Ms and talks about it. That's what we do. We review movies. We review albums. We talk about TV shows, comic books, you name it, we've covered it. So that's more of the catch-all pop culture, geek culture podcast. And I've got to admit, it's probably the one I have the most fun with. So those are my two shows. You can find me on Twitter at Tom Clark Secret. That's for the day job. So that's what that means. So you can follow me there if you want to, and I'll follow you back. How about that? I'm on the Facebook as well. So there you go.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Tom. Do check out his podcasts. They are very, very good. I can't wait to be on 6M again. It's one of my favorite things when we've done them.
Awesome.
This one sounds like it's going to be great. Thank you for watching, everybody. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that great stuff. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
See ya.